Alright, for this first problem, I'm going to have you reflect negative 2, 5 over the line y equals 2x plus 4. So I'm going to have you first graph y equals 2x plus 4, which is in slope-intercept form, ready to graph. I'm going to start at 4 and use that slope of 2. Starting at 4 on the y-axis, over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2 for my slope. Be able to stair step the opposite direction. Draw my line through that y-intercept of 4 with a slope of over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2. I'm going to reflect the point negative 2, 5, which is right here, over that line. So I need to go across that line at a 90-degree angle. So what I need to do is find the slope of that line in red, which is 2 over 1. If I take the negative reciprocal of that, that's me flipping it and making it opposite of positive. So it's going to flip to become negative 1 over 2. That is negative reciprocal. If I approach that line of reflection with a negative reciprocal slope coming at it this direction, I will go across that line exactly. So from that point, over 2, down 1, over 2, down 1. That is the first reflection. You can see equal distance on either side of that line at a 90-degree angle. If I was to draw that 90-degree angle line, look at that, perfect 90-degree angle. Next, I want you to reflect that second point over the line y equals 2. I'm going to call this A1. I'm going to call this A2 with 2 little marks right there. I'm now going to reflect over the line y equals 2. Y equals 2 is a horizontal line through 2 on the y-axis. If it was just plain old x, that would have been a vertical line, but y equals 2 is a horizontal line. When I do that reflection, remember, you don't want to come at it at an angle. You want to come at it straight across at a 90-degree angle. So if I look at A1, my pre-image, I'm going to go 1 box exactly below, straight across. That is the new location of my final image, and that is the point 2, 1. Next problem. This one, a little harder because that equation is not solved for y. So to solve that for y, I'm going to add 1/3 to both sides. 1/3 x, I should have said. These will cancel away. Now I have y all by itself equal to 1/3 x minus 4. That has a y-intercept of negative 4. It has a slope of over 3, up 1. Over 3, up 1. Stair step both directions. Draw my line through it. The point I'm reflecting is negative 1, negative 1. I need to approach that line with a negative reciprocal to this slope. So if I look at 1/3, if I flip that over and make it the opposite, that becomes negative 3 over 1. Over 1, down 3. Which means as I approach this line, coming at that line of reflection, I need to hit it with a slope of over 1, down 3. Over 1, down 3. That is the reflected point. I'm going to call this A. I'm going to call this A1. This is the pre-image A and the image A1. Now I'm going to reflect over the line y equals negative 2, which is a horizontal line through negative 2 on the y-axis. And again, when you're reflecting over a solid to straight line, you want to just go straight across. So I'm going to reflect equal distance above that line of reflection. So A1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes above. That is my final image, which is the point 1, 3. Next problem. I did have to make a change, so I made that y-intercept for that second line -3. I have to solve this for y, so I'm going to add 2/3 x to both sides to get that y all by itself. These will cancel away, bring down that y, and I get 2/3 x plus 1. So I y-intercept of +1, a slope of over 3 up 2, over 3 up 2, be able to stair step both directions, draw my line through that, my point I'm reflecting is the point -2, 4, which is right here. That is A. I need to approach that line at a negative reciprocal slope of 2/3. So if I take 2/3 and I flip it and make it opposite, I get -3/2. So as I again approaching that line with that slope of -3/2, which means every time I go over 2, I go down 3. Over 2, down 3. And you can tell your eye tells you perfect 90-degree angle directly across that line of reflection, equal distance. My second line to graph for this one is the line y equals -2x minus 3. That is in slope-intercept form, ready to graph. So -3 for my y-intercept, over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2. Draw my line through it. I need to reflect that red A point directly across it. If I look, this has a slope of -2. So the negative reciprocal of that line in black there, if I take -2 and I flip it and make it opposite, gives me 1/2. So to reflect that A point, and again, I'm sorry, this is A prime, A1. I'm going to approach that line, come in this direction at -3/2, but for that slope, I'm coming to the right, over 2, down 3. And again, there's nothing over here. So I need to be able to stair step the other way. Up, right, up, right, up. So let's see, from -2, 4, flipped over, I'm going to approach that line at 1/2. I can't go over 1 up 2, over 1 up 2, because I will go off the graph. But if I stair step the opposite way, I end up right here. And again, that is over 2 up 1, over 2 up 1. The same slope as my perpendicular line. This point is the new point, A prime. That is the point -4, -2. I'm sorry. It has been a long day. That is the point. Fix that. That is the point -2, -4. Sorry about that. So again, double reflection over that blue line and then over that black line there. Next problem. Alright, number 4. 4 is tough because I got to solve this for y, and then I got to graph it over the negative diagonal lines. So if I take -1/2 x plus y equals 2 and add 1/2 x to both sides, those will cancel away and gives me y equals 1/2 x plus 2. That will be this line in blue, over 2 up 1, over 2, up 1. Be able to stair step both directions. Draw my line best I can. The original point is -1, 4, which is right here. We'll call that A. I'm going to hit that line at a negative reciprocal slope of 1/2. So if I take 1/2 and I flip it and make it opposite, I need to approach that line at a slope of over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2. That will be the new location of A prime. Now I need to graph it over the negative diagonal line. Remember, y equals negative x is y equals negative 1x plus 0. So a y-intercept of 0, and then going over 1, down 1 is corner to corner. I'm going to draw that line, my negative diagonal line. When you reflect over a perfect diagonal line, you just have to go from corner to the other corner right here. That is A double prime. That is the point 0, -1. If you want to get technical, the slope is -1 over 1. The reciprocal is 1 over 1, which means from that point A1, every time I go right 1, up 1. But of course, that is going off my graph, so if I backtrack, I end up right at that spot, the perfect double reflection point right there. Next problem. Alright, this one is way more difficult because you need to solve both these for y first, and then that first one has 2 steps of algebra. So if I have 2x minus y equals -3, I'm going to take away 2x on both sides. I'm going to make sure I bring down -y. Now I need to divide everything by -1. And what that does, that makes my y positive, which I need it to be. It gives me 2x plus 3. So when I graph that 2x plus 3, my y-intercept of 3, over 1, up 2, over 1, up 2, be able to stair step both directions. That line in black is y equals 2x plus 3. The point I'm reflecting is -2, 4. We'll call that A. I need to hit that line at a negative reciprocal slope of 2. 2 is made up of 2 over 1. The negative reciprocal is -1 over 2. So I need to approach that line with a slope of over 2, down 1. That will give me a perfect reflected point. So right 2, down 1. Right 2, down 1. That is the point A prime, the new image. My new line is not solved for y also. So I need to take that 3x plus y equal -2 and take away 3x on both sides to get that ready to graph. Bring that y down. Do not combine those. Those are unlike terms. So my new line to reflect over is -2 for my y-intercept, over 1, down 3, over 1, down 3. Be able to stair step both directions. Draw that line through them. I need to come at this line with a negative reciprocal slope of -3. So -3 as a fraction is -3 over 1. The reciprocal of that is positive 1/3. So that means if I'm going over 3 and up 1, that will go off my graph. So I need to stair step the other way. Down 1, left 3. Down 1, left 3. And you can see that reflection point, the new point for A double prime, That is the point -4, 0. You can see perfect diagonal line to here, and then that other one, perfect 90-degree line through there. Again, know what perpendicular lines look like. All right, last one. All right, I did make a little mistake on this. I really wanted you to reflect over this one first, and then I wanted you to reflect over this one second. So I'm sorry for that mistake. I hope this fixes it. We will see. So solving that first one in red, -2x minus y equals 2. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. I'm going to bring down -y. I'm not going to combine those two unlike terms. Divide everything by -1 to get that y positive, and by itself, that will give me the line y equals -2x minus 2. So when I graph that first line, it'd be right here. -2 on the y-axis, over 1, down 2, over 1, down 2. Be able to stair step both directions. That line looks like this. The point I'm reflecting is -2, 3, which is right here. I want you to approach that line with a negative reciprocal of -2 over 1, which is 1 over 2. So as I approach this line, I'm going over 2, up 1, over 2, up 1. And you can see the reflection point is going to be right here. That is A prime. And again, this right here should not be A prime. That should just be plain old A. So I will fix that. That is the pre-image. A1 is the image. My second line also needs to be solved for y, which is pretty tough. So here we go. 2/3 x minus y equals -2. I'm going to take away 2/3 x on both sides. I need to move my work over here to the side. I have -y still equals -2/3 x minus 2. I am not done. I need to divide everything by -1 or times to get everything positive. That will give me positive y. -2/3 divided by -1 gives me positive 2/3 x. -2 divided by -1 gives me positive 2. So I'm going to graph that line in red. A y-intercept of positive 2, over 3, up 2, over 3, up 2. Be able to stair step both directions. I'm going to draw my line in red through that. I need to approach that line up this way with a negative reciprocal of 2/3. So 2/3 flipped and made opposite is -3 over 2. So I need to approach that line with a slope of over 2 down 3, but I can't go this way. So if I stair step backwards, I will end up right here. That's where I wanted that point to be on my original handout. I'm sorry I made a little mistake on that, but that is A double prime. That is the point -2 for x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for y. I'm going to go back and double check that I wrote all the coordinates for the final image. So here we go, bear with me. So let's see. That one I did right, -4, 0. This one is 0, -1. This new one is -2, -4. That is 1, 3. And that is 2, 1. Feel free to stop the video and rewind. I am here every day at lunch or break to to help you. Please come in.